For many fans of Japanese role-playing games, the Final Fantasy series is some of the very best the genre has to offer. For those of you who have never played a Final Fantasy before, each game is a standalone experience. Although they deal with similar themes, each game has a unique story and gameplay mechanics. In other words, don't worry if you haven't played the other 12 games beforehand. Final Fantasy XIII is the first Final Fantasy for the PS3 and 360, offering some of the most lavish production values the series has ever seen. The story involves the dynamic between two very different worlds, the people who inhabit them, and their relationship to mysterious god figures who oversee them all. These complex themes are told through the trials and tribulations of Lightning and her companions, a memorable and likable cast. The story itself is very good, but it can occasionally be melodramatic, as is frequently the case with JRPGs. Now, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, so I generally enjoy that kind of storytelling, but those accustomed to the more conventional Western brand of RPGs might find the plot a little bit too much. The presentation in this game is phenomenal. From the gorgeous cutscenes to the slick menus, even the vast amounts of background info contained in data logs. Square Enix put an incredible amount of energy into this game and its underlying mythology. This is especially clear when you realize that all of the lip syncing was redone to match the English voices, even in the pre-rendered CG cutscenes. This is a level of detail that is rarely seen in any video game, and Square Enix should be commended for it. The graphics are equally excellent, character models are really detailed, and some of the environments are breathtaking. Some textures aren't quite as good as they could have been, but that's understandable given the scope of the game. Voice acting is great for the most part, although Vanille's overly perky voice might sound odd to gamers not familiar with that type of character.
Well, since we're here, let's look around!
And let's not forget about the music. While not as memorable as some of the classic Final Fantasy themes, the music still adds a nice ambiance to the game, and a few of the tracks are really impressive. Final Fantasy XIII's gameplay starts out deceptively simple, but later becomes one of the most complex and challenging systems I've ever experienced in the series. There are a number of gameplay elements involved here. Thankfully, they're introduced gradually so you won't be overwhelmed. You only control one character during battle, but you can switch up roles anytime you want. All of your abilities and the behavior of your companions are determined by these roles. Initially, it may seem a little limiting compared to past battle systems, but eventually you start to experiment with different combinations of roles, staggering enemies, summoning old friends, and, in a very cool addition, earn ratings for each battle. As complicated as it is, I like the battle system quite a bit. All of the different elements gel together nicely, and striving to earn a high rank for every fight is fantastic motivation. With that said, I found myself going through the same motions over and over again as the hours wore on, but the difficulty spike at the game's conclusion works well to shake things up. The extreme linearity of Final Fantasy XIII has been a serious point of contention for longtime followers of the series. Prospective buyers should know that the game does open up towards the finale, but only to a limited degree. I enjoyed the linear sections as well as the free-roaming locales, but it's safe to say that some fans will be disappointed by the game's structure. Final Fantasy XIII does away with several of the franchise's traditions, and this will displease some of the hardcore fans. A huge chunk of the game is linear. You only control one character at a time, and each character's role has a limited number of moves. However, if you're willing to accept these changes, you'll have a lot of fun with this game. The characters are cool, the production value is off the charts, and the mythology that Square Enix created is fascinating. If you're looking for a great JRPG, look no further. Just don't expect it to be the best of the Final Fantasy name. For the more detailed written review, head over to IGN.com.